All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. It's right at 4 o'clock and we have a full agenda, so I want to keep us rolling and hopefully on time today. Welcome everyone. Again, so good to see your faces. My name is Rachel Hirschman. I'm the Wellness Coordinator for District 6. And I recognize a lot of you, so good to see you, and also great to see the new faces. I know we have a lot of new Worksite Wellness champs this year, so welcome. And I wish you were all here with me here at the service center eating Chipotle together, but we do hope to do that again in the future. And regardless, it's great to see your faces, and this way I can see your full face for most of you, so that's great as well. So I'm going to move on to the next slide where there is Johanna will share a link to a Google form. And for those of you that are wellness champs that will be paid for this meeting, you'll want to make sure to fill out that quick Google form, and that's how I'll do the one-time pays. So I'll get those filled out right after this meeting so that you can get that included in your September paycheck. So make sure to fill that out. Just asks you what time you arrived and how late you'll be staying if it's not for the full meeting. And then if you can add the D6 location that you're at to your Zoom name. So most of you probably know how to do this, but the 3 little dots in the corner of your screen, there's a rename option. And so that'll just help us all to know which building you guys are all at, or which organization if you're a community partner. Right, so we will go into a Menti poll. So again, Johanna is helping me with sharing all these links. So she'll put that in the chat. Many of you may have used Menti before. And I'll share my screen there, but go ahead and click on that link. And there's a code if needed, but that link should take you directly to the poll. And I will get that rolling. Oh, good, I see people are getting to it. That over here. All right, so hopefully you can see the results coming up here. Kind of seeing who's in the room. Lots of Worksite Wellness Committee members and elementary champs. A couple high school champs. There's a K-8. Got 21 responses in. So just gives you a little bit of an idea, since we can't all go through and introduce ourselves, unfortunately. But you'll see a lot of elementary school champs, which makes sense. We have a lot of elementary schools, and then also good representation from our committee and other schools throughout the district. Next one. So what is the best thing that happened to you today? You can go ahead and hopefully just type in there, and we'll start seeing those results show up. Nice. Ate lunch, very important. Colleague brought me local honey, nice. Students made growth on their reading assessment, that's awesome. Had fun teaching writing to my 2nd graders. 4th grade team told us our previous students remembered 3rd grade math concepts. Awesome to see all these great academic achievements for students. Finally got to come home. Bonus of a virtual meeting, right? Able to work out before work. That's always nice to check that off the list. 2-year-old waved goodbye for 5 minutes this morning, made my heart smile. So cute. Realizing that our current 5th graders are my kinders when I started at Scott. Very cool. Got benefits payroll out the door. Awesome. Thanks for sharing all these great things. Coffee, I agree with that one for sure. Nice. Always good to see the good things happening. Some people are sharing in the chat as well. That works. Thank you so much. Go ahead and X out of this. Back to our slideshow. Oh, oops. All right, so Worksite Wellness Committee, I'm going to go ahead and have those folks introduce themselves just so you guys can see some different resources you have throughout the district and see kind of the representation from all different areas. And we don't have all of our Worksite Wellness champions here tonight, but those of you that are here, if you would please jump in and introduce yourselves, that'd be great.
I'll go ahead and start, Rachel. Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Kara Sample, and I'm the Assistant Director of Nutrition Services. And as noted, why I'm introducing myself, also a proud member of the Worksite Wellness Committee.
I'll go next. I'm Linda Dolan. I'm with Flood & Peterson. We're your insurance broker. And I'm a member of the Worksite Wellness Committee.
And I will follow Linda. I'm Lori Giesick, also with Flood & Peterson, a member of the Worksite Wellness Committee, and love working with District 6.
I can jump on.
Oh,
Go ahead. Well, I took my name off, so no one knows who I am.
You did. You're admin benefits now.
No,
What's up with that?
now. It works that way today.
I'm
I
Sherry
apologize.
Morin. I'm the wellness champ for Franklin Middle School.
Well, and again, my name is Michael Ringhead. I'm your benefits specialist as well. I am also on the committee, and I'm honored to be a part of it. It does such great things. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen it, and those of you who are new will realize how it touches and changes people's lives.
I'm Christina.
Hi there, my name's, sorry.
Go ahead, Katie.
My name's Katie Dotson. I'm a wellness consultant with Aetna, who's one of the benefits providers for District 6.
I'm Christina Crane, and I'm brand new to the Worksite Wellness Committee, representing the Human Resources Department.
My name is Carolyn Jones. I work at Jefferson High School, and I'm on the Worksite Wellness Committee.
My name is Johanna Bishop. I'm the wellness specialist, and I work with Rachel and the whole host of nutrition services, and I'm on the Worksite Wellness Committee too.
I'm Linda Rula, Worksite Wellness champion, I guess, from Brentwood Middle School.
All right, and I think, did I miss any other Worksite Wellness Committee members?
Yeah, Rachel. But sorry, I'm not going to have my camera on because also being your guys' technology services manager, I'm also the coach for Heat Volleyball, and I'm having to run over here and grab my son to pick him up because Misty has to coach. But I'm Dominic Gavinia. I'm the technology services manager, but I'm also on the Worksite Wellness Committee.
Thank you for being here. Miss any other committee members? Awesome. Well, thanks again. Just knowing who your other resources are throughout the district, I think, is helpful. And we are looking for a school-based staff member on our committee because we know that your expertise being in the schools is really important. So we'd love to have you apply to be on that committee. We meet monthly, and Johanna shared the application there. So feel free to shoot me an email if you have more questions about that. I think I'll be passing it over to Kara.
Correct. Thank you, Rachel. Hello again, everyone. It just dawned on me when Rachel shared the Google form for all of the wellness champs to sign in for the one-time pay. I was like, oh, I'm on the Worksite Wellness Committee and I get to be a champ. So it's a really cool perspective that I have the opportunity to engage in. So I wanted to just real quickly kick this off and just run through our agenda for the evening. So we are going to start by examining the Worksite Wellness mission and vision, and also how that ties back to the district's strategic plan. Then we're going to celebrate all the amazing Worksite Wellness accomplishments that took place over the last year. Even though it was a very, very difficult year, there was a lot of great stuff that happened. So we'll celebrate that. We will place some focus on the specific goals for Worksite Wellness within District 6. Then we will move on to defining what your roles as Worksite Wellness champs are. Next, Katie, who introduced herself, and she is our Aetna consultant. She is going to share some Aetna resources with us. After that, we're going to dive into a variety of mental health tools that we literally have at our fingertips. We will then unveil the super exciting schedule of Worksite Wellness events for this current school year. And then lastly, we'll bring everything full circle and wrap up with some final updates. So why don't we just dive right into our objectives? So by the end of our time together this evening, we hope that we will all be able to embrace these 4 objectives. So number 1, all of us will be able to understand the mission and vision of our Worksite Wellness programs. Secondly, we will all gain a clear understanding of our valuable role and what the expectations are. And I can't emphasize the word valuable enough. Everyone on this meeting this evening is so valuable and so vital to the success of wellness throughout our district. Third, we will all be able to advertise and promote Worksite Wellness initiatives and incentives at our individual locations. And then finally, I have no doubt you are going to be super excited about Worksite Wellness for this school year. All right, so let's dive in to the District 6 Worksite Wellness mission and vision. And I know this is not new information to all of you, but if we peel the layers back, our mission is essentially the work we are focusing on today. It's what we're doing to move the ship forward. And our vision statement is what we want to become. So listed here on this slide, you can see the mission and vision statements that were created by our Worksite Wellness Committee. And I'm sorry, I'm just going to pick on someone. Christina Crane is at the top of my screen. Christina, would you mind unmuting and reading the mission of the Worksite Wellness program?
Of course. District 6 staff will motivate, cultivate, and journey with one another in well-being.
Thank you. All right, I scrolled down a little bit and I see Megan Relaford. Megan, would you be willing to read the vision?
Sure. The vision is creating lifelong, healthy, engaged, and high-performing role models for our students and community.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. All right, so I mentioned that we were going to take a minute to tie the Worksite Wellness mission and vision back to the district's strategic plan. So again, I know this is not news to the majority of you, but District 6 just released the new strategic plan, which is titled Innovation 2030. And essentially this strategic plan is the work that will be done on behalf of the entire district to move the needle from now until 2030. So something really exciting that I would like to announce to you all, if you don't already know, is that within one of the pillars of the strategic plan, Innovation 2030, the pillar itself is titled Culture and Climate. And there is a goal specifically related to the social and emotional health and wellness of students and staff. So that in itself deserves a round of applause because that gives some accountability to the work that we all do. So very excited to announce that. Thank you, Rachel, for pulling that up. The link is also in the slide. I'm sure you all saw that. And I have no doubt that Rachel's going to share the slides afterwards. So if you haven't already had a chance to peek at the strategic plan, I'd really encourage you to do so. You can see that there are the 4 pillars, right? There is, we'll start at the top, student learning and achievement. And then as I mentioned, climate and culture. The third is operational and organizational effectiveness. And then the 4th is strengthening partnerships. And I gave the example of the specific goal surrounding wellness under culture and climate. And it's easy to place all of our focus there. But again, I just encourage you all to really take a look at this and let yourself embrace all of the ways that the goals and the strategies within this plan connect back to wellness. I think, I'll just share one example so this really resonates. Under operational and organizational effectiveness, there are a number of goals and strategies related to recruitment and retention. And I think it goes without saying that having an amazing Worksite wellness program can help support both of those things. So I just ask that we don't pigeonhole ourselves into that one area and really spread this work throughout the district in all of the pillars. All right, well, thank you, Rachel. That covers the mission and vision, and I think you are going to take over and talk about some successes that happened over last year.
That was great. Thank you so much, Kara. And yes, exactly. So we want to make sure and look back and celebrate the success that all of you helped us to accomplish within Worksite Wellness. So on our homepage, greeleyschools.org/worksite wellness, we have highlighted this beautiful document that Johanna Bishop created. And you can kind of scroll through it within the webpage, or you can also download the document here. And it goes through student and staff wellness accomplishments throughout the year. There's a little intro just celebrating all of you and your work during a challenging year. And then it goes into the Worksite wellness numbers. We also tried to include a lot of quotes that we heard from staff members throughout the year, because that kind of qualitative data in addition to the quantitative is really important. So there's really great quotes in there sharing the impact that Worksite wellness programs had on our staff's life last year. You can see we had our 2 new programs, Financial Wellness Monopoly and Healthy You, some great stats there on participation and impact. Our flu shots, which we'll be talking about in a little bit, it was record numbers with 838. We're trying to get over 1,000 this year. Biometric screenings, we saw some great movement in the healthy categories for folks. Again, I would love to read all of the quotes, but I'll leave that to you all. That's one of my favorite parts. You can see on the left here are our awards that we won this year. We also talked a little bit about our new integrating more, I should say, with our safety program, with our safety selfie. We did helped with a bunch of drive-through screenings for COVID. We did a bunch of WellBeats programs, including the incentive in January for the family meal kits. That will be another incentive starting tomorrow with the new WellBeats program. 827 class plays in January alone. So we've seen a lot of great success there. Our first ever virtual wellness week, that turned out really amazing. And we were so lucky to have the support from Dr. Pilch in kicking off that event. We had over 600 people complete the interest survey and culture audit, and that was moved to every other year to try to avoid that survey fatigue that some people may be feeling. And then there's really great stats from student wellness also. And many of you here are student wellness team leaders, so you'll appreciate this as well. So I encourage you to take a look through this. Again, it's on our webpage. There's some info about SHAC, our Student Health Advisory Council, and the amazing mural that they painted that's downtown at the Family Center. And then it was the year of the banana pancakes for culinary classrooms. You'll definitely want to check that out and the great success that Johanna had with that program. So that's one of the documents I wanted to share with you and celebrate. And then right below that is our interest survey and culture audit, kind of some highlights of the results. So this is that survey we ask employees to complete every spring. And we just want to share, there's so much data that's produced, and the Worksite Wellness Committee uses that to create our operating plan for the year. So we just wanted to share back with folks, and this one's not working for me right now, some of the results that we get, right? So you spend the time to take this long survey and you kind of want to know, what are you doing with those results? What are the results? So these are just a few examples. So we talked about some quotes from the EAP. 83% are aware of the district's EAP. And I know I saw Kyle on the call, and he'll be talking later, but we shared all of these results with him as well to continue improving the EAP program. Some stats on workplace safety, with 90% feeling that their managers and supervisors support that. 69% agree we have a strong wellness program in place. 65% felt cheerful and in good spirits more than half the time, which is pretty good considering the year that we had. And then we see, in blue here, an area we can work on is sleep, with only 36% agreeing they wake up feeling fresh and rested more than half the time. 82% agree that there's strong leadership support for engaging in wellness activities. I think that's huge, having that leadership support. A few more quotes there, and then information on what we are hoping to do, a few things we're hoping to do with that survey results, which we'll be talking about these in our schedule of events. And feel free to, I know there's a few questions in here that I think Johanna answered, but feel free to unmute if you have any questions throughout. Otherwise, I'll move on to our overarching goals, which I think Kara is going to cover.
I am. Thanks, Rachel. And thank you to Christina and Megan for helping me share the mission and vision. So now we have the opportunity, knowing what the mission and vision are, to really dig a little deeper and look at the overarching goals of our work. So the first, as you can see here, is what Rachel just mentioned. One of the things we did really well last year is engaging administration and how important it is to the success of our wellness program. So with this goal, our aim is really to encourage our administrators to support our programs and serve as role models in their buildings. Next, to raise awareness of preventative care. So with this, we're talking about services such as flu shots and biometric screenings and annual visits. And, it's just so those sort of preventative care components are the foundation of lifelong health and wellness. So we want to make sure we're offering that for our colleagues and our employees. Third, to create healthy work environments and weave wellness into the culture of our buildings. In other words, we work really hard for wellness to become normal and regular, if you will. And then finally, but importantly, we work to offer awesome wellness programs that people want to participate in. And of course, we're going to take a lot of time this evening to talk about what is coming down the pike for this year. And I think I'm going to toss it back to Rachel to talk about the roles and expectations of wellness champs.
Thanks, Kara. And I'm excited to say we are 2 minutes early, which is rare for me. So I'll try to keep on track here for all of you. All right, so your valued role as wellness engagement ambassador. So I think I saw this from another school district that they called their wellness champs wellness engagement ambassadors. So I wanted to include it here because I think it really shows the work, the importance of your work in not only, passing along to employees at your site what's going on in worksite wellness, but also helping them to engage, helping them to actually take part in these programs to make a change in their lives. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of you for being willing to be our wellness engagement ambassadors, our worksite wellness champions. This program could not be what it is, could not survive without your work. You're, out at the sites, you know the people at your site, you have built relationships with them, what sort of communication resonates with them, and way better than I do. So just thank you so much for being willing to serve in this role and be a support system and the eyes and the ears for especially this challenging time that we're going through right now and that we've been going through the last year and a half. So communication, really, that's the key part here, and just making yourself available to staff at your site so they feel comfortable coming to you with questions. And a great way to do this is to do a little intro email or intro at a staff meeting, just letting people know, hey, I'm your worksite wellness champ. Let me know if you have any questions. Some folks that I've seen do a really good job at this is Megan over at Madison, always does a great intro email, and she also, see Johanna raising the roof over there. She's also a student wellness team leader, and so she makes clear in that intro email, here's what I do for student wellness, here's what I do for worksite wellness, and here's how I can support you. Another one I just saw was Dan over at McAuliffe. He did a really great one and added some humor in to his email as well, which made it fun. So I'm sure they'd be willing to share those examples if you need one, but really just letting people at your site know that you're there and you're serving in this role. Another way to do it, and Carolyn, I don't see her face right now, but she may be laughing, wondering about this signature line here. Oh, there she is. So this is not Carolyn's actual signature line, but I knew she wouldn't mind if I took some liberties with it. This is just an example.
I'm famous now. I'm famous.
Fully famous. I added in under personal fitness, her worksite wellness champion to her signature line. So that's just an idea. I've seen some of you do this, but then when I went back and tried to figure out who it was, I couldn't find it. So that's why I had to take some liberties with this, but just adding that in there to spread the word that you are in that role. And I know if you're a student wellness team leader, Johanna created a really cool little like animation that some of you have in your signature line. And if you're interested in that, Johanna may be willing to share her skills with me on how to create something a little more flashy, but definitely starting with just having it in your signature line, like this example would be great. Also just in-person communication in general. So we've seen frequently in our interest survey and culture audit, people will mention usually very positive things about wellness champs and say, oh, our wellness champ is great about getting information out to us and talking at staff meetings, which is really helpful. You know, and sometimes they're like, I don't even know who my wellness champ is. I never hear about events. So just making sure if you can get on like a staff meeting agenda or have it be a standing item on your staff agenda for like 2 minutes to mention what's going on, just that verbal communication is really helpful in addition to sending the emails. Role modeling participation. So you'll see this as we look at our job description and the stipend structure here shortly, but that minimum is 50%. So we know that not all of you can participate in every single worksite wellness program, but ideally, you know, being that role model to show, hey, I'm participating in this program, come along with me and participate as well is really helpful. And then advocating. So, you know, an example that I like to share is a worksite wellness champion was not happy about the food environment at her school, the food environment for staff, I should say. And the situation was, the staff was expected to kind of pay into some sort of fund that was used for staff celebrations. And then all of that money she felt was used to buy unhealthy food that she didn't want to eat anyway. And so I helped her to create a survey to send out to staff at the school asking what sort of food they would want at these celebrations. And then she was able to bring that back to the committee heads and get some healthier options in there. So really just being the change that you want to see at your site. And then finally, collaborating with student wellness. So another example is a school that talked about, you know, we're having parents bring in really unhealthy treats for birthday parties, and then the leftovers end up in the staff lounge. So not only is it impacting student wellness, but also staff wellness. So if you don't know who your student wellness team leader is at your school, Johanna or I can definitely help team you up with that person. All right, so the stipend structure and log. Share that link with you here. We just started this structure last year, so those of you that were Worksite Wellness Champs will recognize it. I didn't really change anything, but we have the 3 different levels because again, not everyone wants to participate at the same level. And so we try to incentivize a little bit more for those that are really going above and beyond. And I won't read this to you, you have access to it, but just to highlight a few things. You know, I mentioned those participation goals. So at level 1, it's 50%, level 2, 75, and then level 3, 100%. And then, you know, doing some of your coordinating or facilitating site-specific activities. So there's a few examples there under level 2 of, you know, maybe you want to start your own steps challenge or water challenge, things like that, a WellBeats challenge. And I'll show you the Google Drive too, where there's a lot of resources for this. Any questions on the stipend structure? Again, I didn't want to totally just read this to you. All right.
Rachel, if I can jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the student wellness team leaders are also focused on staff wellness. That's an important part of student wellness. So if you're not also the student wellness team leader, it'd be good to check in with that person because you might be able to collaborate and share some of the workload on it instead of doing it all by yourself.
Yes, great point. Thanks, Johanna. All right, and then the tracking log. So this is where you can kind of show the work that you've done. So then at the end of April, when I'm submitting your info to finance to get those reward cards sent out, it's just really easy and it's all right here. So last year I had a version that you could edit and that kind of turned into a nightmare. So this version, you can't edit it. So you'll have to make a copy and then you can just share that copy with me. And I'm just asking that by September 10th, you fill in the yellow section. So just really kind of thinking about what level do you want to participate at? What is the goal that you have for this year? And then did you share that goal with the staff at your site? And then the other items in green, you can kind of just keep track of and fill out as the year goes on. And then I'll be looking at these at the end of April, like I mentioned, to determine those different stipend levels. Any questions on that? I will show you real quick, since I have a few extra minutes, that drive. So you should all have access to the Worksite Wellness Champion shared Google Drive, which you can find. So if you go to your drive, let me know if you don't have access, but I just checked it the other day. So under shared drive, will probably be the very bottom one. Worksite Wellness Champions. And it needs a little bit of organization, but you'll see in 2021 kickoff meeting, I'll have all of the attachments and I'll put this slideshow in there and I'll put the recording in there as well. Then you'll see the job description and logs. So you'll see that a couple people have already started their logs. They're really on top of it. But that's where you can share with me so I can keep track as well. There's a recipe sharing folder, champ-led programming. So one of our programs this year that we'll talk a little bit more about is celebrating World Mental Health Awareness Day, which is on October 10th. In the last couple of years, that has been champ-led. So we let you decide what would resonate best at your site. And there's some ideas here, and I'll add some more to this as well. So you can see like some different things that were done. This was in my building, I believe. Like they covered up the bathroom mirrors and people put positive messages on there. And then there's some kind of more full out program templates. So a 7-day mindful tech challenge if you wanted to take that route. 31 days of mental health, 21-day mental health challenge. There's some WellBeats things in there as well. So that'll definitely be a good folder to keep in mind for resources for World Mental Health Awareness Day. I think that's it to point out for now, but I definitely encourage you to take a look through that drive when you get a moment to see what all is there. Any questions? Good, I don't see anything in the chat. So I will pass it over to Katie with Aetna.
All right, thanks, Rachel. You can go to the next slide and I'll just review what we're going to talk about today in a quick 15 minutes. So working with Aetna, we partner really closely with the Worksite Wellness Committee, not only to help provide wellness programming for the employees, but also just to make sure that everyone is aware of the benefits that are available through the medical insurance. So we're going to go over some of those benefits today, including Attain, which is a wellness program or app experience, whatever you want to call it, that's available, and you can earn rewards and or an Apple Watch through the program. Then we'll just review the different online mobile resources for members, as well as how to access the health assessment. for the incentive program with biometrics. So we'll move to the next slide and start with Attain. So Attain came about as part of kind of an extension of a subsidy program that helped to put Apple Watches on our members' wrists, and then it kind of blew up into this entire experience that really helps keep people engaged outside of just physical goals like getting 10,000 steps. Obviously, that doesn't work for everybody, so we really wanted to create a program that helps keep members engaged not only with their physical health, but also their mental health, and then their health and responsibilities through their preventive care and insurance and those benefits as well. So you can go to the next slide, Rachel. So there's 3 basic parts to the Attain experience, and they're all encouraged by rewards. And we'll go over the rewards in a second. But first is the personalized daily activity goal. So this is a move goal that comes with the Apple Watch, and the user can fulfill that to earn rewards. There's regular nudges and achievable actions, which is the everyday health, to help support well-being, and then personalized health actions or key health moments that kind of behave as like a check engine light based on the user's actual claim data. So it integrates the medical benefits, and it will shoot you a reminder to get a preventive screening with your primary care doctor if you haven't had one in a certain amount of time. It will push you or remind you to get a flu shot when that time comes, different things like that that are actually integrated with your medical benefits to help stay on top of that stuff. And you get rewards for all of it. And then the everyday health, just to dive in a little deeper on that, there's also little challenges. They're different each week, and they're focused on mental health, sleep, stress management, nutrition, physical activity, different things like that. So that kind of ties it all together, and it will give you tips and tricks, and then challenges to complete to earn rewards as well. So it really goes full circle. So moving on to the next slide, there's a couple different ways to earn rewards. The first is you can earn a new Apple Watch through the program. So basically, if you don't have an Apple Watch and you sign up for this program and you'd like to earn one, you will create an account, and then you will order. The Series 3 is what the program covers as of right now. And you, in addition to that, can earn up to $80 in gift cards. But basically, when you sign on for the first time and order your watch, you pay a one-time activation fee. That keeps your card information on file, and then you earn points each month that add up to the monthly payment for the watch. So if you don't hit your goal for 1 month, then it would subtract the difference from the card that they have on file. So that's how that works. Kind of keeps some skin in the game and holds you accountable for completing those goals, which is really fun. If you wanted to purchase a newer watch, you can do that and just pay the difference from what the Series 3 is to whatever new series that you'd like to earn or purchase. And then the monthly points that you have to earn is 8,000, which sounds like a lot, but they add up pretty quickly. So on the next slide, you'll see the other option. If you already have an Apple Watch, you can earn rewards. So basically, it's the same thing. You complete the challenges each weekday, and they add up to points, and those points can be turned into dollars, up to $280 in a 24-month period. So that's the length of the program. And then you can start redeeming points at 5,000, which is equal to $5. So kind of the same from both sides. At this time, because this has been around for a couple years now, if you complete the program, you will have the opportunity to re-sign up and earn rewards. There's not an option right now to earn another Apple Watch, but that should be coming in the future, so we'll keep you updated with that. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is that this is available for a specific population. So currently, you have to be an Aetna medical member to participate. You have to be 18 years or older, and you do have to have an iPhone. We are working on an Android version that will hopefully be available in the first quarter of next year. So obviously that's a really top priority for the Attain team right now. So that will be coming hopefully in the next year as well, and we'll be sure to share updates as we get more information on that. If you have any questions about Attain, go ahead and just pop them in the chat, and we'll make sure to answer them as they come in. And then the next slide will show you just some of the results that we've seen specific to Weld County School District. since the program has started. So this was updated August 15th. So these are pretty real-time stats here. 517 people are enrolled in the program, which is really high. That's 27% of the population. That's really high participation from what I've seen with other clients. And then you can see the other important numbers here that we like to look at is on the right side, the weekly active users as a percentage of the monthly active users. So 80.5% of the 517 people log into the Attain app on a weekly basis. And if you compare that to some other wellness programs that we see through the Worksite Wellness program, that's a really high number. So once people enroll in the program, they tend to stay engaged, which is really awesome. Those are the two numbers that I like to see. But you can kind of look at those in the slide too later on. We'll have more time. So that's all about Attain. Again, if you have any questions, just go ahead and drop it in the chat box and I'll make sure to answer them before I leave you. But if not, we'll move on to some different online resources. So next slide, Rachel, please. Thank you. First, we'll talk about our Aetna Health member website. So on the member website, you'll be able to see all of your benefits information, including your ID card, how much you've spent towards your deductible, and all of the different claims that you've had. We also have an app as well. You are not able to access the wellness resources that I'm going to talk about through the app, only through the computer mobile version. However, if you go onto a browser on your phone, like Google Chrome, and then go to Aetna.com from there and log in, then you can be able to access the wellness health assessment that way. So it's just it's on like a little bit of an older platform, the health assessment is, than the rest of the website. So that's unfortunately the reason for that. But this is where you'll be able to find all of your health and wellness resources, including the health assessment. Next slide. So we'll get through these pretty quickly. I just wanted to show you how to get to the health and wellness materials from the Aetna member website because it takes a few clicks to get to. And I believe I have already sent these to Rachel, the updated ones. If not, I'll send them shortly and then you'll be able to access these in case you get any questions. This program does have a lot of participation because there's a large incentive tied to it. So if you complete your health assessment and a biometric screening, then you will receive $100. So part of that is getting to the health assessment, which is what we're going to walk through right now. So sorry, Rachel, these ones are going to go kind of fast. The homepage is just Aetna.com, and then you'll see in the top right corner this login button, which is what we'll click on. That will take you to the login page. I think it automatically goes to employer for some reason, so you'll want to make sure that before you log in, you click on the member on the top left corner, and then the login button. And then enter your username and password. You can also register for an account if you're a first-time user to the website. I don't think you need your WID. I think if you don't have that, that's the number on your ID card, you can register with your social security number and birthday as well. So once you log in, you'll be taken to the home page. These are just some screenshots, so it doesn't show the full home page. But at the top of the screen, there's a health and wellness tab that you'll click on, and that will take you here. Once you're there, under this little Stay Healthy dashboard, you'll click on Access Wellness, which will take you to another dashboard. A lot of clicks in here, so sorry for that. And then once you're here, you can click on Complete a Health Assessment under the Health Programs tab. And this is, again, the required piece for the incentive program that I mentioned earlier. Moving on, there we go. This is the dashboard that will actually take you to an external website, and the platform that we use is through Virgin Pulse, and that just houses the health assessment information. So once you click on Launch My Health Assessment, you'll be taken to that external website. If you're logging into that for the first time, you'll have to acknowledge a privacy notice, and that privacy notice just states that you're giving, what's the word I'm looking for? You're approving, I guess, that Virgin Pulse has access to your information, but this information is not able to be accessed by your employer. It's just so Virgin Pulse can house the data. So this is what the homepage looks like. This has been updated since last year, so it's a little more interactive and a little easier to use in my opinion, which is great. We love to see that. So at the top of that page, you see the health, and you can hover over that and then click on health assessment. You can also see it from these little cards. If you click the next arrow there, that will take you to an option to take the health assessment from there as well. And then the health assessment information, like the content is the same. The questions might look a little different from what you've seen in the past, and that's just because the platform has been updated. But it is really interactive. You can see at the top here, there's a couple different categories that it will ask you questions about. It's very interactive. It gives you different ways of answering questions, like some multiple choice, some answers you enter in, some you click a button, different things like that. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. That has not changed. And all of the information, again, is kept private and not shared with your employer directly. Not only does it ask you questions about, again, your physical activity and your nutrition like we would typically think of, but it also asks you questions about your sleep, your mental health, your safety habits, different things like that. So it really tries to get a good picture of your health. And then at the end, it will give you a health score. And if you scroll down on that page, it will also give you your top strengths and your top risks. And also it will give you some little tidbits and tips and tricks on how to improve those, especially the moderate and high risk categories, without having to take an online health coaching program, which is really nice. So if you can kind of hover, it's not shown on this page, but you can kind of hover over them, and it will give you tips on helping to increase your sleep throughout the night, or how to stay asleep at night, different things like that. So that's also a new update that I think is really helpful. If you would like to see whether or not you've completed your health assessment, you'll just log into your Aetna member website. And then once you go to that dashboard that says launch my health assessment, it's the last page before it takes you to the external website. It will have the date that you last completed your health assessment. You do need to complete this once a year in order to be entered in for that incentive program. And then you do have to complete the Quest Diagnostics biometric screening as well. One thing to note, if you take your health assessment first, your Quest Diagnostics information, like your blood pressure, cholesterol, all that stuff, will be automatically entered into your health assessment following your screening. So you don't have to go back in and enter those numbers. You shouldn't have to, which is really nice, especially if you don't know them off the top of your head. So if you have any questions or trouble seeing that your health assessment is completed, but you know you've done it, then Rachel, you can reach out to Rachel and she'll send your information to me, and I'll get that taken care of for you, or look into it for you. I think that is the meat of that. Cool. So just really quickly, some additional resources that we have available on the next slide. Obviously, in the past year and a half, I think preventive care especially has taken a back seat. Luckily, the district has done a really good job of making sure that wellness programs are still accessible through different means, like meeting virtually, like with the virtual wellness fair and the challenges and different things like that. But actually getting in to see your healthcare provider has kind of fallen to the wayside. So just want to make a mention there that that is super important, that we're continuing to get our routine checkups and screenings, vaccines, different things like that with our primary care provider. You can actually find a doctor on the Aetna Health website if you do not currently have one. So it will be able to show you under the Find a Provider, I believe is what the title is at the top of the page, who is in your network and who is available and seeing new patients and different things like that. A lot of places will accommodate to have virtual primary or preventive care, but that will just depend on the different facility. We already talked about the Aetna Health resources, which is the member website and the app. There's also a 24-hour nurse line available. I believe that phone number is on your Aetna ID card, and you can call that 24/7 to speak with a registered nurse. They are not able to prescribe medicine or diagnose anything, but they can give you advice on whether or not you should wait and go see your primary care physician, go to the urgent care or emergency room, different things like that. So that's a good resource. And then Teledoc is the other one. So that is actually 24/7 access to board certified medical doctors by phone, mobile, and video, and they are able to diagnose and treat common health issues and prescribe medication. So that's really good to use if you're traveling, or obviously during this COVID environment when a lot more people are staying home and you're not feeling comfortable going into your doctor's office. That's a really good resource to have. And there's also access to dermatology and behavioral health on there as well. So just wanted to throw that in there, and Rachel should have more information on that if you're interested. All right. I don't think I see any questions. I think that's all I have.
And thanks, Hannah, for mentioning that example of being very thankful for the 24-hour nurse line. Appreciate those shared real life examples.
Yeah, it was really helpful. We called and she had me go over, and my baby came that night. So it was, the 24-hour nurse hotline's great.
Thank you. Any questions for Katie? Great. Moving right along then, I am going to pass it over to Johanna, and I will stop sharing my screen. I think she's going to share her screen.
Awesome, thank you. We're going to take a little break to do a brain energizer and get up and moving. So you're going to need a space to stand up and just have a little room to move. But while you're doing that, I'm going to share my screen with you if I can click all the buttons here. We're going to just review WellBeats. This is a free resource available to all District 6 staff, which is wonderful. There's over 700 different videos available to use and take advantage of. And it's a whole variety of things too. It's not just workout videos, but there's mindfulness, there's nutrition videos, there's activities for kids, there's a whole variety of things. So it's worth checking out. Plus we do a lot of worksite wellness challenges around WellBeats. So you're gonna go to wellbeats.com and log in, and your login is under your own name, my Greeley email address. You can see you can edit your profile. I haven't updated that from January yet, but you'll log in and then we can look for classes. So I want to find a class that is really short and has no equipment, and see what happens. So I filtered it down, and I know I want to do, my screen's a different size and I lost the one I want. I'm going to do a 1-minute punch it out video. So hopefully you can see this. And I encourage you to stand up, find some space, and punch it out. I'm going to mute myself.
Oh, I don't think we can hear it, Johanna. Or I can't hear it. She's working on it, I'm sure. Or we could just follow.
Just follow along. You can't hear me either, but just follow along and I'll work on getting some sound. That was a 1-minute quick punch it out video. You don't need much space or any equipment or any time to be able to do that. It goes super duper fast. Sometimes with technology, you stop and you try again. We'll see optimize for video clips, see if that works any better. So this video, all right, we're gonna do a little bit of another one as well. Just gotta think about it, hold on. There we go. At the end, it always asks you to rate it. But I also wanted to show you how to find a challenge, which is coming up. So on your homepage here, there's the recommended challenges, and they have some to start with, but if you click view all, there's this whole list of options. And coming up in September, we are going to have a Worksite Wellness Take Care of You challenge. So we click on the Take Care of You. It's a lady sitting and meditating in a purple shirt. And then you can enroll in this challenge and you say, okay, you start the challenge, and then it has this whole list of options for you to do. And so this has 2 different options every day, and you can pick which one makes sense for you in that space and that time. And you'll follow it from here. So we are going to do just a couple minutes of day 26, which is hiding over here. There we go. You click on details and it shows you what it is. And if you decide you want to do that one, you click play. If you decide you don't, you could go back. But we're going to do this. And I have no idea why sound isn't playing. I'd always text with a warning for you.
There's a checkbox you need to check when you share your screen in that box to allow sound.
It is, but I can't hear it either. It's not playing on my computer. And that's what I don't know. Why it's not making any sound. Again, you can just follow without sound. It could be a fun experiment. You're going to find a space to stand up real tall, stretch up your arms way up your head, and fold into a forward fold. All right, as you come back up, we're going to end it right there. Thanks for bearing with me during technical difficulties. I've never had it, so I can't hear it. Who knows what happens? But hopefully that gave you a little bit of space to get up and move your body. And those are available to you. The beauty of it being online is that it's available to you all day, every day. You can use it in your classroom. You can do it at your desk. You can do it at home. You can do it from your phone, from an iPad if you're traveling, whatever. And there's a lot of great resources there. So that is WellBeats.
Thanks, Hannah. No worries about the technical difficulties. I've had plenty of those myself. We're still able to follow along. The closed captioning came up, so that was helpful. All right, I am going to not share my screen and allow instead Kyle from our EAP. Kyle, are you able to share your screen? Perfect. Welcome, Kyle. You able to unmute? I'm trying to find you here. Oh, yeah, we can't hear you. See, you're unmuted, but. Nothing? Let's see, I'm trying to find him. Okay, so more technical difficulties. Let's see, we can skip to our next, while he's working on that, go to our next guest speaker. Is that okay? Okay, I'm seeing him nod. So do we have Michaela from North Range here? Go ahead and speak up if you're here. Michaela from North Range. Okay, let's see her. Great, well, I will just share my screen and go through some of our other resources, and we'll kind of skip around here while we're waiting for folks and getting some of these technology issues figured out. Let me share my screen again. All right. Okay. So we'll come back to North Range and the EAP. And I wanted to highlight our D6 system of support. So this is at greeleyschools.org/SOS, and hopefully you've seen this highlighted in the intercom for the last couple or several months now. This has been going on, but it's a really great resources. There's some really great resources there that I just wanted to show a few for you. So one example is the virtual calming room. So on the left-hand side here under Mental Health Matters, you can see the virtual calming room link. And in here, there are all sorts of things. So different stretching and yoga things, visual relaxation, puzzles and games. So this one, I found some interesting things in, like a digital fidget spinner. Who would have known there was such a thing? And maybe some of you teachers are thinking that's a nightmare. That you never want to see one of those again. But there's that, there's a jigsaw puzzle. There's some different, like if you need some relaxing music during your workday, all sorts of good stuff there. So definitely recommend checking out the virtual calming room if you haven't already. Another resource I wanted to highlight is we've under the adult social emotional learning tab. So the educator self-care referral, this is a Google form. And, talks about we all need a little extra help right now. Please complete the items below so we can better support you in maintaining positive mental health. And then there are some crises hotline numbers there. But otherwise, you can just fill this out, your best way to contact me, the date, kind of what you're struggling with, a few details of why you feel that way, etc. And then this goes to our social emotional learning team, and it's kept confidential within that team. And then they will reach out to you. I think it was within 24 hours. It's quickly that they reach out to you to provide support. So that's just a unique resource that's new that I wanted to share, kind of an in-house thing to make sure you're aware of that. Again, that's on this SOS page. And then there's some other like apps, like the Calm Schools app, some other websites there, the information about Happy Teachers, which Kristen Dalton leads. And Kristen Dalton leads all of these SEL things here. Some tips for recognizing anxiety, ways to de-stress and reduce anxiety, so on and so forth. So definitely go to greeleyschools.org/SOS and check out those great resources available. I check my chat to see. Okay, Kyle thinks he has it. Do you wanna, I'll stop sharing and see if Kyle, or do you wanna try your audio, Kyle?
How's this? Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. I will stop sharing and
Excellent.
let you take it over.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I appreciate your patience there as we got that technical difficulty taken care of. So I really appreciate the invite, the chance to share some information, and really the chance to kind of learn what you've been doing so far here in the first part of the meeting. And I know that this time of the year can be extremely exciting and positive, but there's also some stressors that go with that too. And that's where we want to help folks with supporting them through the stressful times that they might be experiencing. So I know that your roles as wellness champions, as folks who promote the wellness and the just people taking care of themselves, I know that you play a huge role in keeping people informed and recognizing opportunities when people are struggling or experiencing some stress. Going back to an earlier part of the meeting, 83% of your staff is aware that you have an employee assistance program. That's awesome. That's a fantastic number. And we still want to push that higher. We want that to be 100%. And so that's our hope, is we can get it up to that so everybody recognizes the value and the resources provided by the employee assistance program. Let's just talk. The employee assistance program is an employee benefit that provides confidential resources for any issues causing concern. Number one, it's an employee benefit. It's provided on behalf of all of the employees of the school district. It is something that is there because we recognize the need to support those stressful times. It's confidential. When folks reach out to EAP, they can know that interaction, that conversation, those reaching out moments to get that help that they need are kept completely confidential, with the exception, of course, when our folks are required as mandated reporters to protect individuals. I know that all of you understand that very well. And so that is the only time when that confidentiality would be even questioned or broken in any of those situations. So, and it's for any issue that causes us concern at all. We all know that our world is full of stress. If we didn't have stress before, the last year and a half has certainly added onto our plate a whole nother layer of stress and worry. We know that so many of us are managing that stress in a way that still is allowing us to be healthy, is allowing us to function, to keep the relationships, to be successful in our jobs and in our careers. But there are times, right? There are times when that stress goes from manageable stress that we can handle to stress that's elevated. And all of a sudden that stress at home starts to affect things at work, or that stress at work starts to affect things at home, the relationships we have with our loved ones. Those are the moments that we want folks to reach out to EAP. I've heard the word preventative, right? And in the Aetna presentation, there was preventative physical health, things that we can do. I really think it's beneficial to look at EAP as a preventative program, because we would rather have folks reach out while that elevated stress is just in its very starting point, rather than waiting until we reach the point of a crisis. And so we want to encourage folks to reach out for any issue causing them concern at all. It's important to know that the EAP is open to all employees, but also to their spouse, their children and dependents who live in their live with them or are a dependent of them. It is also open to anyone living in their household. And so anyone living in their home has access to EAP resources. Let's take a look at those resources. And so one of the things that I point out first is the fact that we have 24/7 telephonic access to professional counselors, master's level counselors or higher, for in the moment support. Now, in the past, this has been called a crisis hotline, crisis support. Here's the truth of the matter. It doesn't have to be a crisis to know that we need to talk to somebody, whether it be in the evening, middle of the day, middle of the night. It doesn't really matter. In the moment support truly is more of an accurate description of what these folks do. They are professional counselors. They are there to talk. They are there to provide support, provide some guidance. You used the example of the nurse line earlier, which I think is a great example. This is a very similar type scenario in that in the moment support can come up at any time. And so we encourage folks to use that and know that that is always there for them. Certainly the last year and a half, we've seen more individuals turn to that telephonic type interaction with a counselor. And that can be through that 24-hour access line. Or also, we do provide referrals to local EAP counselors. And that can be counselors there in the Greeley area, or if we have dependents or family members that are outside of the area, it certainly might be someone anywhere across the United States. Your program provides up to 3 free counseling sessions at no out-of-pocket cost for those, up to 3 sessions. And truly the intention there is to provide support, to provide guidance, to answer questions, and to help with those stressors that are causing concern. If we need to go beyond those 3 sessions, we know that then we look beyond the scope of the EAP, but EAP provides those 3, which is a great resource to help. Now, the benefit is described as per incident, okay? And so if we have someone using EAP now, let's say they use it in September, and they use their 3 sessions for a relationship question, okay? Relationship issue that's happening. And then 5-6 months later, there's a death in their family. That's a separate incident, separate situation. We want them to feel comfortable calling us back and utilizing another up to 3 sessions at that time. And so it's per incident that they can access those services. Let's look telephonically at some additional resources. We had the in-the-moment support with our 24-hour access to professional counselors. We also have telephonic access to work-life resources, legal referrals to help someone find an attorney who can answer questions, who can provide information. Same thing in the realm of financial questions. And certainly we know, and you know, the focus you've had in the past with the importance of financial well-being. That's a really impactful thing on individuals' lives. And so we have those folks who can be connected to any individual to answer questions and provide guidance. We provide referrals for childcare or elder care. Certainly when we're at that point in our lives when we may need to find a tutor or a special childcare for our children or dependents, or maybe it's an assisted living facility or some type of a nursing home facility for a loved one. Sometimes that can be overwhelming, and our folks are there to help people get connected. Daily living is it's the work-life resource that really encompasses everything else. If it isn't legal, financial, child, or elder care, it's under the daily living. And the folks that help with that area are very much generalists. They're there to go seek out information and help you find what you need to help alleviate some of that stress. If you find yourself in a supervisory or management role, know that the EAP provides unlimited supervisor or management consultation. And that means you can call and talk to one of us here about what's happening in the workplace and get some guidance and support on how to really how to support the folks that you're working with to help them through whatever it is that's causing them stress. To access your EAP, and I want to just emphasize a few of the different options. So we've got the same toll-free number that we've always had. We do have, once someone calls, we have a couple of options that they can quickly get directed to once they connect to that number. And so the first option is any of our counseling resources. From that option, they can talk to a counselor. That's where our in-the-moment support happens. They can also talk to someone who is going to get the process started of getting them connected to a local counselor. If they choose option 2, that's our work-life staff, and those are the legal, financial, child, and elder care folks that help us with those areas. So we've got those 2 options. And of course, we can transfer back and forth if people don't choose the right option, but it's a little way to quickly get people connected to the right resource to help with what they're dealing with. We have also been taking emails at the inbox eap@livewellworklife.com. And we've really found here, especially this last year, that that's a great way for individuals to reach out to the EAP. And when they do that, of course, there's some information we need to gather. We want to make sure we know what they need in terms of help and resources. But we can quickly do that through a virtual secure email exchange. Lastly, livewellworklife.com is our EAP online resource. We have had lots and lots of people going and utilizing those resources. Once on the site, click on Living Well Resources, and it will ask us to enter our company code, School District 6. That code is the only information needed to have access to the site. And within that site, we're going to find information, just a wealth of articles, interactive assessments and tools, e-learning courses, webinars. We do a monthly topic of the month. Tomorrow, you're going to find that September's topic of the month is taking a technology timeout, and how we can do that effectively and still balancing our work and gain some of the mental health benefits from taking that time out of setting our phone down and engaging personally with those people around us. And I know sometimes that can be a bit of a concern and a stressor for folks in our busy world here, and how much we have leaned on technology during this past year. So I'd encourage you to go out and look on that EAP website and utilize those resources. Thank you. I encourage any of you as wellness champions to reach out to us at any time if you have questions. You can reach out to me directly. I have my contact information here and can share that. Rachel has that contact information. If you have any questions we can help to answer, we're certainly willing to do that, and want to make sure that we get people connected to the resources that are going to be beneficial. So thank you very much.
Kyle. And so I think that answers Sherry's question from Franklin. She was wondering if you could do a little EAP demo for her staff over at Franklin. So now she has your contact information to set that up.
Reach out, we'd be happy to.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Kyle. Anyone have any questions for Kyle? Just feel free to put those in the chat box, and then I will continue sharing. Michaela Sanchez from North Range. I don't think she's here yet, but shout out if you are. Otherwise, I'm going to go back to our other district resources. All right, so we talked about systems of support. Headspace is another great one. We'll kind of cruise through these pretty quickly, but Headspace is an app and educators have free access to it. So just go to headspace.com/educators. And if you log or sign up with your district email, then you'll have that free access. And there's really a lot of great things on there. Guided meditations, of course, are kind of what they're known for. Also resources for sleep. We saw that statistic from the interest survey that people are struggling with sleep. And they also have quick workouts, which I didn't realize, group meditation sessions, and a lot more. So certainly check out that Headspace. It's kind of a nice intro if you're like, I don't know about meditation. It's a good little intro, like let's do 1 minute a day. Our mobile mindfulness kits, so we do still have these available if you would like to borrow them at your site. All sorts of good stuff in there, yoga mat, there's a chime, there's different mindful eating resources, yoga cards, mindfulness reminders that you could use in a staff meeting, coloring books, oil diffusers, essential oils. So if that's something that you would like to check out, you can definitely rent that. And on our Worksite Wellness page is the request form, or you can feel free to just shoot me an email and I can send those items out for you. Support for pregnant and new moms. I don't know, Michael, here, so you might be able to tell us how many babies are born each year to district employees.
Well, I'm going to estimate about 70 to 80 typically every year.
Yep, that's what I had notes about from a past year, typically over 60 babies. So definitely a resource that is needed for new parents in general, but specifically 1 in 7 women suffer from pregnancy-related depression and anxiety. It's the most common complication of pregnancy. So one resource the state has is postpartum.net/Colorado. And there's also a phone number there to get resources and support specifically in that area. WellBeats has prenatal and postnatal fitness and nutrition classes as well. So it's kind of a fun, unique benefit. And then our lactation space locations. So this is a document, I think I shared it with those of you that were here in the summer and asked you to update it, but I will bring it up here too. So these are the spaces throughout the district. Each site is required to have the space available for mothers. And so you'll definitely want to take a look to make sure that this is still accurate for your site, and so that we can keep it updated and make sure that new moms are aware of this space at their work site. So again, all of these resources will be linked in the slides. Since I know I'm kind of cruising through them, you might not have a chance to look. Let's see. And then the last one I wanted to share, Let's Talk Colorado. So the goal of this is it's a media campaign. You may have seen it I've seen it on buses in Greeley and Evans. But the goal is to initiate an inclusive conversation. And you could go to letstalkco.org to get more. And there's a toolkit on there. So this could be a good one to investigate and share some resources for World Mental Health Awareness Day. That's CHAMP led, coming up in October. I don't think we have Michaela Sanchez yet, so I'll go back to her slide just so you guys can see some of the resources from North Range. They do have a 24/7 crisis support, and if you put the number there, or you can walk into their clinic, she put the address. There is something they're calling a warm line. So similar to what Kyle was talking about, it's the crisis or the hotline makes people feel like, well, I'm not necessarily in crisis, like I just need somebody to talk to. So they renamed it the warm line support. Free and confidential mental health support there. And then she also put North Range's kind of generic phone number. And I have a bunch of paper materials from North Range. If you would like me to send them out to your site to have in your staff lounge or something like that, I can certainly do so. Now we are moving right along to our schedule of events for this year. And I am going to pass it over to our Masters of Public Health intern, Delaney. So if you want to go ahead and unmute Delaney.
Hi guys, yeah, like Rachel said, I'm Delaney. I'm the MPH practicum student with Rachel, and I also work with Banner Health Worksite Wellness. So you guys, a lot of you have probably seen me the past couple of years running around at your flu shot clinics and other events. But I just wanted to go over, just some information in case, as Worksite Wellness champions, if you guys get asked questions. But the clinics start on September 8th, which is already next Wednesday, and they go through the end of September. So Monday, September 27th, there are 27 flu shot districts or flu shot clinics district-wide. They're free for employees, which is awesome, and spouses and dependents ages 4 and up on the Aetna insurance. And then also covered by Aetna insurance is the tetanus vaccine, Tdap vaccine, and take-home colon cancer screening kits. So just let us know when you're at the clinics and we'd be happy to give those to you. And then another question you might get if someone is not on the Aetna insurance is the flu shot is $35, and we are happy to take payment at the clinic for that. And then I also put together this kind of common questions and facts flyer to, kind of go with the normal flu shot flyer. But these are some of the questions I get asked most often, being on the Banner Health side of things. And I feel like it's, some good information as, representatives of wellness for us to kind of live by and, be role models. So Of course, going over everyday preventive actions. So washing our hands, we're all super used to that. Avoid touching our eyes, nose, and mouth, cover coughs and sneezes, disinfect often, so basically everywhere. Stay home if you're sick, especially if you do schedule a flu shot and you end up being ill that day. Like, please, no worries. We are happy to see you at a different clinic. And then just, other things, drink lots of water, make healthy eating choices, exercise, and get plenty of sleep. I know sleep has been a hot topic lately. Some other common questions. So why should you get the flu vaccine? It's because we want to give yourself the best chance of avoiding illness so you can be there for your students and families and your coworkers. I know, it's hard when someone is out because then everyone else has to do a little more work. So we want everyone to be healthy. The CDC does recommend the flu vaccine yearly as the first and most important step to protecting against the flu virus. Who should get the flu vaccine? So everyone. There are only few and very rare exceptions. If you are unsure or if you feel like you have a very, unique circumstance, I always encourage you to just check with your doctor. Especially if you've had reactions in the past. Always feel free to reach out to us or Rachel. She can ask us at Banner Health, but always ask your doctor as well. And then what flu vaccine will be offered at D6 flu clinics? We always offer the Flucelvax quadrivalent. So it protects against the 4 most common flu strains that, CDC scientists have researched, and this is what they have found to be the most common for 2021 flu season. So it covers against 2 influenza A and 2 B viruses. Will the flu vaccine give me the flu? So this is also another common question. No, so the viral strains in the vaccine are inactivated, so it is not infectious. Now, this is not to say some people might get mild reactions. Those are all usually pretty normal. And then what about the flu vaccine and COVID-19? So I know some of us are still getting our COVID-19 vaccines, but there's no evidence that getting the flu vaccine is going to increase your risk of contracting COVID-19. So we just encourage you to, if you have any really specific questions, always use the CDC is a great resource. But if you type in the chat too, let me know if there's any other information you would like to see on this info flyer that you would feel like it would be helpful for the other teachers and employees at the school. I'd be happy to add that on there. But we're excited to kick off our flu clinics in, oh my gosh, 8 days. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, Delaney. Thanks for sharing all that. And as she mentioned, feel free to shoot any ideas or questions into the chat box. And I put the link to our sign up too, in case you haven't seen that, but otherwise you should have the flyer hanging up in your stall talks currently. All right, so other events coming up in September, we have our WellBeats Take Care of You Challenge, which we talked a little bit about already, and that does start tomorrow. Someone, I think it was Beth, asked about the incentive. So we'll do a drawing out of all of those that complete at least 12 of the classes in that challenge throughout the month of September, and they'll be eligible for our meal kits provided by Nutrition Services, similar to what was offered back in January. So I think we're doing a drawing for 10 of those for everyone that completes at least 12. And Johanna showed how to enroll in that challenge, and that's all you need to do. And then as you complete the classes, I'll get a report showing who has completed at least 12. Flu shots are going throughout the month of September, like Delaney mentioned. And then I'll have Johanna talk briefly about our exciting new water fight.
Thanks, Rachel. So as a welcome back gift, we're getting a Worksite Wellness water bottle, say that 3 times fast, for everyone in the district to help promote hydration. And so you should all have a water bottle filler in your site. And so we're going to take advantage of that and encourage people to drink more water throughout the day. So you as Worksite Wellness Champions are going to take a little picture where it says number of water bottles replaced or something like that. You can take a picture of that on September 15th and then put a poster up and encourage people to participate and take a picture of it at the end. And the goal is to have a 10% increase throughout, or a 5% increase throughout that time, just to help promote people finding their water bottle fillers, using their water bottle, and hydration throughout the day. Pictures can be shared with the hashtag D6WaterSite, and we'll have a little competition across the school, across the site, with an incentive for the winning site.
Thank you. We were hoping to have these in August, but as everyone knows, with the supply chain craziness right now, they were supposed to ship last week. Now they're supposed to ship this week. So we're hopeful that by the middle of September, we'll be able to get those out to you all. Next up is our quarterly cooking classes. So we offered these back in 2019 and they were really successful. And these are open to district staff and their families, getting the families involved in some nutrition education and hands-on cooking here at the service center. So our first one is coming up September 21st. I'm hoping this promo video that our dietetic intern made will work for me. You guys can't hear it, you can.
My name is Katie Fisher, and I'm a dietetic intern with District 6 Nutrition Services. Join us September 21st from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Service Center for a free Worksite Wellness cooking class. Bring the whole family to enjoy cooking breakfast for dinner. In this class, we will focus the theme around buying local produce as well as buying produce that is in season. We will also be covering the 3 major nutrients, fat, carbs, and protein, and learning how to build a meal around those. Today, I will be demonstrating how to make the peach sauce that will go with our pancakes that evening. To start with our peach sauce, I have heated a saucepan to low to medium heat. I cut up 2 to 3 fresh peaches, or you can use 10 ounces of frozen. I have a half cup of water, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt, as well as mixing in 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla. I will start by adding my peaches to my saucepan with the water. Cornstarch, sugar, and pre-measured spices. We'll bring that to a simmer and let that cook for about 1 minute. And then we will go ahead and add in your 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla. As you can see, our peach sauce has thickened due to adding that cornstarch in. And now we will go ahead and add 1/8 teaspoon of vanilla, just to give it a little bit of a vanilla flavor. Mix that around. And then you have your peach sauce ready for your pancakes, or what other things could you put this peach sauce on? Please remember to sign up for this free Worksite Wellness family cooking class because limited amount of spots are available. I look forward to seeing you there.
Great. So I shared in the chat box there the sign up link. I've only advertised this, I think.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bob.
There goes the next YouTube video. I've only advertised this in the intercom last week and I already had 4 people sign up and we have a limit of 15 people. So it'll definitely go quickly. So you guys have pretty much the first dibs. I'll put it in intercom again this week and share it out a little bit more broadly. And we'll have 4 of those coming up throughout the school year. In October, we are planning to do another WellBeats challenge. It's a new one called Fit for Fall. So it'll be similar structure to the one that's starting tomorrow. We'll have a different incentive though. World Mental Health Awareness Day, I talked about already. It's October 10th, which is of course a weekend, but you can choose to celebrate it at your site either the week before or the week after. And then biometric screening is October 12th through November 16th, and we'll talk more about the details of that in just a moment. And then Healthy You, we're excited to offer another round, October 12th through November 16th, and Johanna will talk more about that in a moment. So a little bit more about biometric screenings. Signups, you may remember if you've participated in the past, they close about 2 weeks prior to the clinic. So on our flyer, you'll be able to see what that exact closing date is, but it will be the same process once it's opened up of going to my.questforhealth.com and logging in. There is a 30-person minimum for all of our clinics. So we will have to cancel the clinic if there are not 30 people signed up as of that 2-week prior cutoff. Fasting is required at all of the clinics except at the wellness fair, since the wellness fair is in the afternoon. And then as Katie mentioned, if you complete the biometrics and the health risk assessment afterwards, you'll be eligible for the $100. So it's the same incentive structure that we've had in past years. And then we'll have the PCP option available as well. So I'll send you guys the form in the follow-up materials, but we just want to make it just another incentive for people to complete their annual wellness visit. So if you do that, you can still receive the $100 incentive. You just have to turn it in by March 31st of 2022. And even if you already got your annual exam since July 1st, you can go back and have your doctor sign that and then submit that as well. Now I'm going to pass it over to Johanna for Healthy You.
Thank you. Healthy You is a 6-week class that each session is 90 minutes. We meet once a week, and it's a weight management and mindful eating class. So we've hosted 2 sessions before, and it's been really popular. So it is definitely more time consuming than many of our other health or worksite wellness classes or events, but you get a lot of benefit out of it. The class is free for employees and household members, but we do ask that you sign a payroll deduction form that if you miss class, then you have to pay for it. It's kind of backwards, that if you have to commit to paying $90, but if you attend 5 or more sessions, it's free. And we do this because the group support is super important and super helpful throughout the class. So it is free as long as you participate. And it's open to household members over 18, and we go over a whole variety of health and nutrition related topics. And Delaney will be helping me promote this class. You might see her name. And I count on you all to help share this as well, because it's a small class, but it's a really helpful program that we offer through our Worksite Wellness program.
Yeah, we've gotten such amazing feedback from that class, so highly encourage it. And going back to biometrics, thank you, Katie, for mentioning the other option of going to a patient service center. I know a lot of people took advantage of that opportunity last year, and it's in Greeley, I think it's in the Safeway, the Quest, yeah, people are nodding their heads. So that's another option too. And you just register on the Quest website, and then you'll show up in my completion report as well. So trying to make it convenient for everyone. Moving into November. So I should say about our biometrics clinic too, we're working on getting the sign up open right now. We have to get some eligibility files through and things like that, but hoping within the next week or so that will be opened up. So those will continue through November. And then Wellness Fair, we're hoping to be able to do in person on November 1st. Then we will do our Great Holiday Challenge, which we're doing a lot of changes to this year. So we'll have Danielle talk briefly about that in a moment. Another exciting program new this year is a blood drive, which Megan, one of our Worksite Wellness champs, she will be talking more about that in a moment. And then an EAP promo. So we usually do that in December just because that can be an especially challenging time of year for a lot of people. So last year we did the financial monopoly, and not 100% sure which direction we'll take this year, but probably, again, focusing on financial wellness. Now I'll hand it over to Danielle.
Danielle actually had to step away, so she tagged me on this one. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm me. So the Great Holiday Challenge is a kind of a new program we're working on. And so we're still ironing out some of the details, but we're focusing on the different areas of sources of strength, which is a program in all of our high schools and working on middle schools. So to tie that worksite wellness and student wellness together, it'll be an individual challenge and or a team challenge. So it depends on whether you like to run solo or have a team. And there'll be different activities that you can complete to earn points. And the winning team will win certain prizes and the winning individuals. And so again, it's not just focused on getting your miles in that day. It might be focused on spending time with your family or reaching out to a mentor or taking time to take care of your mental health. You might get points for scheduling a dentist appointment or looking at your will. So it's a whole variety because we're whole people. We don't just have physical bodies, we have emotions and mental health and relationships and all those things. So stay tuned for this, but know that it's going to be a little different than things we've had in the past. But we're focusing on the whole person because we are whole people that have a lot of things going on.
Thanks, Johanna. And now I will pass it over to Megan.
Awesome, thanks. I just wanted to say thanks to Rachel for entertaining my random summer idea of a blood drive. So I don't know, I just kind of had the idea of doing a blood drive just with the need for blood and just everything that's been going on. So she's been in contact with UC Health. And so right now we have 4 dates and the dates are not, we can't change the dates and the times, but right now we have 2 open slots. So you'll see Monday the 29th is at Madison, and then we have Central, and then we have 2 open ones. So what we're thinking is we'll kind of make it a challenge too, and the site that has the highest percentage of staff donating blood, they will win a healthy lunch. So that's pretty cool. And the reason we wanted to do a high school is students who are actually 17 and older with parent consent, they can actually donate. So we really wanted to have at least 1 high school location, and then the others are kind of up for grabs. So if you maybe want to talk to your admin or whatever and see if they would be on board. And you also don't just have to go, like, just because I work at Madison, I don't just have to donate at Madison. Maybe there's another time that works best. You'll definitely just put down like your location. That way we can keep track of who's donating and what site you belong to. What else? Oh, you will need to complete a building use form. So you don't necessarily have to reserve a room because UC Health will bring a bus, which is really cool. So you really don't have to take care of anything. They just bring the bus. We just have to make sure that a part of the parking lot is blocked off so they have enough space. Rachel, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think that's perfect.
Okay. So, yeah. Oh, and then signups will be, once we finalize the locations of the last 2, signups will be sent out, and that'll just be like an online sign up. So.
Thank you so much, Megan, for bringing this idea and just an example of like we're willing to partner with all of you. You have great ideas for worksite wellness programs as well. And so shoot me an email if you ever have something like this, and I'll work with you to make it happen if at all possible. And like Megan said, the dates are definitely, we've already reserved those. The times, I think they can be a little bit flexible. Like if, you know, you're at an elementary and maybe don't think you need to go all the way till 1:30, you can do like Madison and do a 3-hour window instead. We could shorten that. So there's a little bit of flexibility, I think, within the time. I just have to check with the Garth England blood donation through UC Health, but definitely shoot me an email if you would like to host at your site. All right, and then just briefly on spring schedule of events. In January, we are excited. We've never been able to offer a kind of mid-year check-in with our Worksite Wellness Champs. So we do have the budget this year to be able to pay you for that and just kind of do a little check-in. And I'm hoping that it will really be champ-led. So instead of me talking at you most of the time, I'm hoping that, you know, it'll be able to be in person and that you all will be able to share ideas with each other because you have so many great things happening at your site that I'd love for that to be an opportunity to share and network with all of you. So I'll probably end up sending out a doodle poll to kind of try to figure out which date in January we want to reserve, or it might be easier. I might just pick one like I did for this. We'll see. Haven't decided that far yet, but looking forward to being able to check in with all of you and have that networking opportunity and hopefully Chipotle in January. And then Healthy You, Johanna is planning to offer another round to launch the new year. And then Virtual Wellness Week was such a success last year that in addition to our in-person fair, we would like to continue offering that in some capacity. So we're hoping to do that again in January. February, of course, we will continue to partner with UC Health in the 5210 Plus program. And then the rest of the year, we are still kind of hashing out those details, but we'll send you that remaining schedule, as soon as the Worksite Wellness Committee has figured out the details. And then obviously in January, when we meet, we'll discuss further the spring programs. All right, so a few final updates here in our last couple of minutes. So scheduling one-on-one meetings. So I would really love to meet with all of you, even 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Johanna found this great scheduling resource called Calendly, and she'll link it in there for you all, but it links directly with my calendar, so we don't have to have a bunch of emails going back and forth. You can see what time I'm available and what time works for you and get it on the calendar. And I'm happy to meet either via Zoom or come meet with you in person, but just get an idea of what your goals are for staff wellness at your site and how we can support you there. So I'd love to meet with you in September if at all possible. And then compensation. So again, as we've done in the last couple of years, it will be through reward cards. And I believe finance will be able to offer half of it. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Since we have the the new stipend structure with the 3 different levels, it'll be provided at the end of the school year so that you have time to log all of your activities for your stipend level. But it will be the reward cards again instead of the payment in your paycheck. Health Nut of the Month is ongoing, so make sure to submit nominations for your colleagues. And then we also still have our supervisors or managers Health Nut of the Quarter program going as well. And that goes back to, that admin support and that admin role modeling that we want to demonstrate. And then there's some examples there of ways you may want to recognize people that you work with. Our social media accounts I listed there. I am pretty good about updating the Facebook one. The Instagram one is a little bit more clunky and I haven't figured out how to do as much updating there, but definitely follow us and share events in that way. I think we have one more Menti poll to share with you all, which Johanna just put in the chat.
You can either go to menti.com and put in that passcode. You can click on the link in the chat, or you should be able to use the QR code and it will take you there. And then Rachel, do you want to share screen or do you want me to share my screen with the live results coming in?
Oh yeah, I'll let you do that.
I have to click all the buttons. There we go. So I'm just curious, what programs are you looking forward to this year? What's most exciting to you? And we'll see those live results coming up as you answer them. Rachel, any other closing thoughts as people fill that in? You have to rank your order.
This is fun, I like it. D6 Water Fight is coming in strong. People are excited about that one. But otherwise, just to close us out a little bit early, which is great, I will be sending out the follow-up materials in email tomorrow. And otherwise, just really looking forward to working with all of you this year and supporting you and supporting staff wellness across the district. Oh, D6 Water Fight. Good call, Johanna. That was Johanna's program idea.
I put the link in the chat. Also, if you didn't fill out the form to say when you got here and when you're leaving, make sure you do that before you leave. You only have to do it once, but just in case you missed it the first couple times.